This is a comparison of Gold Ochre and Raw Sienna oil paint. They're similar colors, but slightly different. So Gold Ochre uses pigment PY42, which is a synthetic iron oxide, and it's opaque. That's what the little square symbol filled in means. While Raw Sienna uses pigments PY43 and PY42 and is semi-transparent. PY43 is actually a naturally found yellow iron oxide, and it's more transparent than the synthetic version. So let me fill in one of these squares with the Gold Ochre. I'll speed it up. So you can see it's like a really rich, almost like deep mustard gold color. And then I'll fill in the other square on the right with Raw Sienna. So you can see that it's more transparent. Some of the canvas is coming through a little bit. So if I want to mimic the color of Raw Sienna, but I want it to be opaque, I can add a little Venetian Red with Gold Ochre. Venetian Red uses the pigment PR101. So you can see it's pretty close. The Raw Sienna is a little deeper, but it's a pretty close match. And now let's try Gold Ochre with Burnt Sienna, which also uses PR101 as its pigment. Might have to add a little more of the Burnt Sienna. So it's pretty similar to the combination of Gold Ochre with Venetian Red. In summary, if you're trying to find an opaque version of Raw Sienna, you could use Burnt Sienna or Venetian Red or any pigment, most likely, that has pigment PR101. Personally, I like Venetian Red because it's also opaque, like Gold Ochre, but you can really just play around and see what works for you. I wanted to compare these paints to demonstrate how you can create similar colors, but with the same opacity as other colors you might be working with. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm painting, I get slowed down because my paints are varying opacities and I have to wait till the layers dry and then go back in and add more detail and then wait for it to dry again so that everything is roughly the same opacity. So this is one way to sort of circumvent that. Transparent paints are great too, especially if you're doing glazes. It's just good to be aware of what you're working with. Feel free to ask me any questions below, and happy painting!